Hi, I'm Amy, and my team's in Domo every day building dashboards, validating, and analyzing data. Over the last year, both our Domo content and our analytics team have grown. Well, it's exciting to see the growth and the increased usage. We're slowed down by our unused content. When we recently added new team members, they were unsure of what content to use. We have hundreds of cards on each dataset, many of which are duplicates. This exposed two problems. How do we manage the content that we have and archive the content that we no longer need? We work in a fast-paced environment. It's critical that we implement a process that doesn't slow us down. I'm going to walk you through the process that we took in implementing Domo Cleanup. We used Domo views to create the content that we need. We created a Domo page that highlighted unused content. And we created step-by-step instructions for archiving the content on a Domo page. This data flow highlights how we leverage the different datasets and views. We use this to plan out how we're going to create our views. We also use it as internal documentation to help our team understand which views that we want to use. Creating a view is really simple. I'm going to walk you through two of the different views that we created that shows you how you can easily filter, create beast mode calculations, as well as summarize by grouping the data. It's very simple to create a view. All you have to do is select any dataset and open with Views Explorer. In order to modify the views, it's just as simple as clicking Edit View. Inside of here, the first thing we typically do is look at how do you want to filter your data. In this instance, we're looking at page, cards, and data sources. We also want to filter by anything that was viewed. We don't need to do any group bys, but we do want to add some calculated fields. Adding calculated fields are as simple as adding a beast mode calculation. We want to understand, was this view within the last 30 days or 90 days? Adding a calculated field is super simple in this case. We wanted to do a 1 and a 0 so we can sum up the total number of views that happened within the last 30 or 90 days. We did this because you can't necessarily integrate a calculated case statement inside of an aggregated view. So being able to apply the calculated field on the data set makes it easier to just sum up that field when you're doing your summary. As soon as you save and close your view, the data is ready to be used. All of the changes that you made in your calculated fields or any of the adjustments that you've made, you don't have to wait for a transform to run. When it comes to doing the grouping by and getting the summary by the data, that's just as easy. As soon as you create or open the view, all you have to do is go by group and drag over the columns that you want to group by. In this case, I want to group by the object ID and the object type. I don't want to include the object name in here because when you're viewing the content, it stores the name that the content was at the time that you viewed it. If your name has changed, then you're going to create duplicate records based on your object ID. And then you want to bring over anything that you want to do for your aggregations. Any min, maxes on specific fields, any counts or sums that you want to do in order to summarize the data in a way that makes sense for how you're going to be using it. All of these views help us create a big picture on what's the content that we need to archive. We have different data sets that highlight how many views has your data set have, how many views has your page or your card had. We can then use these data sets in order to highlight the pages, the cards, and the data sets that haven't been viewed within the last 30 or 90 days. Inside of each of the cards, we also have links that will pop open the card, the page, or the data set for you to review and set to be archived. We have a naming standard that allows all of our archive content to be dynamically flagged as being archived, as well as a date format that allows us to identify when it's going to be archived. As you can see, we started the data cleanup in October, and it's already made a big impact on the content that we're consuming. Once your content has been flagged to be deleted, it's very simple to walk through the process of purging the unused datasets, cards, and pages. On this page, we summarize the total number of pages, cards, and datasets that are ready to be removed. Anything that shows up in here is using the date part in the name of the item that we've identified to be removed. This way, it can dynamically pull in the content that is ready to be flagged to be deleted. In this section, we have multiple different steps. We start with removing the dataset. We remove and archive any of the pages, and then we remove the cards. When removing the dataset, you want to make sure that your dataset is not currently being used by anything else. When you look at the direct impact, you'll notice that this has one direct impact. So we need to resolve that issue before we can delete this dataset. On here, this is also flagged to be removed. So if we click to go to the card, and since it's ready to be deleted, we just delete the card. Once you've removed the card, you'll want to refresh the page and make sure that your direct impact is still nothing and that there are no cards on that dataset. Once you delete it, it will show you that there's nothing else. You're good to go. Click continue and delete. Same thing with the pages. Go through to the page, verify that all the cards have been removed, and if there is a card on here that belongs on another page, move that somewhere else before deleting the page. As you can see, it's very easy to identify and remove unused content inside of Domo. This has allowed my team to be more proactive about removing unused content. It's also allowing our end users to be able to more easily find the content that they need to do their jobs.